In a move that shouldn't come as a surprise, with the release of Halo Infinite, 343 Industries, the current studio running the franchise, decided to use a free-to-play model for the game's multiplayer. With the runaway success of games like Fortnite, Apex Legends, League of Legends, the free-to-play model is a true and tested model for success, and it really shouldn't be a shock that 343 and, by extension, Microsoft want a piece of that pie. In a surprise PR stunt, the company released the multiplayer a month ahead of schedule for Halo's birthday, and it's been a rough, but I think mostly successful launch for them. People have high praise for the new gameplay, the way it blends the old Halo feel with modern game design, its new art style which more resembles the older Halo games. It's a fun game. It's also a deeply, nakedly greedy one. By launching early without the backup of the campaign component, Halo Infinite is one of the most transparently predatory games I've ever seen. The game, to its very core, is designed to take money from you in a way that's almost uncomfortably upfront. Most of these games try to obfuscate it just a little bit. Hi. I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of this changes over the course of the next year as the pushback grows stronger. However, I wanted to catalogue the game as it exists now because it serves as a perfect example of the predatory design that dominates the current AAA industry. In a multiplayer game like Halo, customization is a critical part of the experience. Creating an avatar that's distinctly you has been a key part of Halo since the third game. Halo Infinite is not the first game to monetize that part of the game, however it is the first to be so thorough about it. And I don't just mean they've started selling particular armor pieces for real money, I mean the entire customization system has been redesigned from scratch to make it harder to express yourself without forking over the cash. Since Halo 2, you've been able to select primary and secondary colours for your Spartan, and as you can see here, I favour a nice dark blue with yellow highlights. Halo Infinite has removed this option. Armour is now coloured with a new customisation option called Coatings. Coatings do offer more intricate designs than the former system allowed, however, at a cost. By default you have blue, red, brown, cyan, green, grey, orange, green again, purple and yellow. Any other colour scheme more fancy or advanced, that will cost you time or money. And if there's a colour scheme you really like or want, say dark blue with yellow highlights, you're just going to have to wait until that exists and grab it as soon as you can. By default, you have no customisable armour options, and on the free path you won't get a new armour piece until rank 21, which at my rate of play has taken me roughly 3 weeks. Before getting to that, the other things I've unlocked on the free path are challenge swap consumables, which we'll put a pin in for now, 2 visor colours, 2 coatings, a stance, and thanks to a weekly event, a new armour core. Which brings us on to predatory system 2, armour cores. Armour isn't just split by type, helmets, shoulders, chest pieces, it's also split by core. Currently in the game there are 3, though undoubtedly there will be more. Mark 7, the default, Mark 5B, a recreation of the armour from Halo Reach, and Yoroi, a samurai-themed armour set. Initially, this seems like a way to make customization more diverse, allowing them to create looks that only using the default set wouldn't allow. However, what it really does is further exclude free-to-play players. Without the Battle Pass, you cannot access the Mark 5B armour or almost any of the customization provided by the Battle Pass, which, okay, we'll accept that for now. The Yoroi armour core is unlocked via an event. However, the event is split into separate weeks, and due to the way progression works, you can only make it to level 7 on the event in the first week, which will only unlock you the most basic armour core, none of the attachments. This does technically mean I've unlocked a new armour. I no longer have to use the default set. However, so has everyone. And here's the twist too. Remember those coatings and visors I unlocked? Those are armour core specific. This red visor I unlocked for Mark 7 cannot be applied to the Yoroi armour. If you want to personalise the samurai armour, if you even want to change its colour, you need to fork out the cash. Which brings us to the storefront. See, it's not even as simple as just buying the things you want. The storefront offers a hilariously small amount of options on a weekly or daily rotation to create an artificial scarcity and a feeling of FOMO, fear of missing out. They're specifically never sold individually, everything is in a bundle, so I don't even know why they feel the need to specify here in the corner, but that's only obfuscation level 1. You don't buy these items with money, you buy them with credits, which you buy with money. Why this extra step? Because it muddles the true value of any one thing. Credits have no set exchange rate with Canadian dollars because the way credits are sold, the more you pay, the more you get. Bear with me here. 1,000 credits costs $11.69 and 2,000 credits costs $23.39. However, buying 2,000 credits also grants you 200 extra credits, which means if you buy the 1,000 credit deal, one credit is worth roughly 0.01169 cents. But if you buy the 2,000 credit deal, one credit is worth 0.01063 cents. And going further, if you buy the 10,000 deal, a whopping $117. One credit is worth 0.01017 cents. So, the more you spend, the less valuable these credits actually are. If it makes it easier to understand, this bundle here, translated to real money, is worth between $23.29 to $20.34, depending on how many credits you bought at the time. You probably got lost in all those numbers, and that's because you're not supposed to think about it this hard. You're not supposed to do actual maths to figure out the real world value of any of these items. You're just supposed to read 200 extra and think you're getting a better deal so you spend more money. The actual value of these items in the store makes no logical sense either. This 2,000 credit pack comes with all new armor plus a new stance and a new coating, while this 1,500 pack comes with some swords and a new emblem. And you can't buy a 1,500 batch of credits anyway, so you could buy a 1,000 pack and a 500 pack. Or you could get the 200 extra on the 2,000 pack. There's also a neat little trick here on the storefront, which is the Battle Pass. You can't access the Battle Pass from this screen, only the option to buy the premium version. So let's unpin the Battle Pass and talk about it. A big deal was made before launch that in contrast to the models of other games, the Battle Passes of Halo Infinite are a permanent purchase. You'll own them forever and you'll always be able to work towards them. That seems like a positive, and perhaps it is. It'll take longer into this experiment to tell. However, the Halo Infinite Battle Pass still uses all the same tricks as any other Battle Pass you can find. The theme of this first Battle Pass is Heroes of Reach, a nostalgic cash-in on Halo Reach, considered by many to be the best Halo multiplayer. As I said, to unlock any of the Halo Reach armor, you need to upgrade to the Premium Pass. However, the Battle Pass does have free items along it at every second or third level, the vast majority of which are challenge skips. Challenges are the only way to progress through the Battle Pass, or rather, they were, until on day 1, 343 got immediate flack for that and added a permanent 50 XP challenge for completing matches, so you always have a source of progression. However, 50 XP is prohibitively low, and these weekly challenges are your primary source of progression. You're given a big pool at the start of the week and are assigned a random 3 from the pool at a time to work on. You can't pick which challenges you want to work on, you can only do the ones you're given at a time. However, the Premium Battle Pass also comes with a 4th challenge slot, so you can work on 4 at a time instead of 3. So, not only do you get more items on the Premium Path, you can also move along it much faster, increased even further by a steady supply of XP boosters along the Premium Path, which increase the XP payout of these challenges. Whenever you level up in the Battle Pass, it gives you a list of items you've unlocked, including the Premium Path, even if you don't own it. So every level up is a reminder of the things you could be unlocking, if only you forked out the 1,000 credits. You may have noticed by now that every customization item has a colour-coded rarity attached to it, a very standard white, blue, purple, orange setup. These are probably so standard that you didn't even question it, but consider for a second what these rarities actually mean. In a game like Destiny or Borderlands, these colours and rarities denote quality. A purple gun will have higher stats than a white one. It'll do more damage, be more accurate. It's a higher quality of gun. In Halo Infinite, these rarities denote absolutely fuck all. All of these items are fully cosmetic. Why is this helmet rare while this one is legendary? Only because it assigns an artificial added value to owning this helmet versus this one. Because with the way the UI is designed, you're actively discouraged from wearing the common default armor because it's white and grey and boring, while the shiny paid for items are blue or purple or even orange. They're tapping into standard game design language to assign an artificial added value to these items. The colours are even used on the storefront, with the most expensive bundle being orange and the cheapest being blue. There's no way for other players to see the rarity of the items you're wearing, so it's not even about bragging rights. It's purely just so you'll feel inferior for wearing the default armor. Speaking of which, every match of Halo Infinite begins with a little introduction of each of the players, a piece of fluff which exists purely to highlight each player's customization, or lack thereof, to make players who haven't bought in, standing in their default armor, feel left out. With armor cores especially, there's such a clear divide in these introductions between paid players and free players. These introductions, more than anything else, highlight the problems with the it's just cosmetics defense of the free-to-play model. If you've been watching along, nodding your head, but thinking that it's all fine so far because it's optional, you can still play the game for free after all. You can still have access to all the maps and mods. Customization is just a nice little extra. Then I think you've failed to understand the problem. As I'm sure you can see by now, it's not just one system that encourages you to buy in, it's every system. It's a whole interconnected web all trying to get you to pay up. It's literally true to say that you don't have to buy anything to play the game, but to actually enjoy the game, it's not so true. The game is actively predatory if you don't pay up the money. Any sense of progression is extremely slow. Any ability to express yourself is extremely limited. If you don't pay up, you're undoubtedly having an inferior experience. Well, so what? Isn't that fair? The game's free to play, but not free to make. Are the developers not owed some money in return? The free-to-play model is a business model. You're not entitled to the best experience for free. A lot of people try to sell free-to-play models as a kindness, because they let anyone play without a financial barrier. However, the free-to-play model is one that's designed to prey on people. Truth is, if you're the kind of person who says it's just cosmetics, you can just ignore it. You are not the target demographic. These systems are designed to beat people down, to make them feel bad for not engaging in the paid systems. They're designed for people who really want to express themselves in the game, and who are willing to spend a lot of money to do it. If only 1 in 10 players ever actually want to buy something from the store, there's still a massive increase in profit from a traditional model, and with the way they've structured the first season around Halo Reach, that's actually really easy to demonstrate. Here is my Halo Reach Spartan as they exist currently: a CQC helmet with added attachments and a blue visor, a commando shoulder on the left and operator on the right. On the chest we have the HP parafoil armor, and on the wrist the tactical tac pad and the tactical trauma kit in the utility slot. Finally, FJ Para on the knees. All of these items were unlocked in-game with no purchase beyond the actual game, which was about $60 I paid like a decade ago. Let's try and recreate this exact look in Halo Infinite. The tac pad, knees and blue visor all come as part of the season pass, which I can get for 1,000 credits or $11.69. The rest are currently not in the game, though through data mining it's been leaked that they are coming and will most likely be sold as bundles on the storefront. And given that the daily bundles seem limited to colours, they'll be in the 1,000 to 2,000 credit range, so let's just say an average of $17 per item. So, that's another $17 for the helmet, $17 for the chest, $17 for the commando shoulders, and another $17 for the operator shoulders. We're now up to $79.69 to perfectly recreate my Halo Reach armor. So we're already over the initial cost of the entire game of Halo Reach, which included a campaign and multiplayer and every customization item they're now selling individually, just to recreate my Spartan. Opening the game with this season of Reach is deliberate. It's targeting me and my peers directly, as the kids who grew up on that game and are now young adults with money to burn. It's deliberately set up so that you'll want to recreate your own Spartan. It's counting on your nostalgia that you'll fork out the extra $10 to buy those commando shoulders so you can complete your look. Somebody ran the maths on those leaked cosmetics and figured out that it will cost over 1,000 American dollars to buy everything in the store, and it only takes one person doing that to start making serious profit back from the effort. Systems like this are not designed for people like me and you, people who analyse, who can see what they're doing, who understand these systems of manipulation. They're designed for people who don't see that, who get caught in the web and will pay endless amounts of money to get back out again. And as I said, I do expect some of this to change with time. The backlash has been especially harsh, especially towards the most obvious systems like coatings and the sandbagging of progression. But you can't just change most of these systems. Monetization is deeply ingrained into the game. It's the core of Halo Infinite multiplayer, and let's face it, it's the core of the current AAA industry. Halo Infinite is not unique, it's just the most recent in a long line of games doing exactly this. It's only interesting for being so on the nose about it, and for the devs actively lying.
Coatings offer us a unique opportunity to craft some hyper-polished looks and let you express yourselves in ways you've never been able to before. We're coming at this from a player-first mentality.
Sure it was. I believe you, sir. Look, I'm not here to judge you. If you want to spend $20 getting the cooler samurai armor, you're just doing exactly what the game was designed to make you want to do. There's no shame in that, but just be aware of what's happening here, and by God, give them shit for it.
I was too bright-eyed and sparkly because, I didn't expect them to just lie.
know the game industry very well, Nathan.
I thought, here's the thing. I think of it from like they were going to get so much shit, why would they just blatantly... Like, I thought maybe they would speak in half-truths, or it's